guess what? I'm moving again. This will be my 6th move in 7 years. I haven't gotten any better at it, so I don't have any moving tips, okay? No moving tips at all. But I'm not moving to a new news station. I'm not moving to a new apartment. No. I am moving back home to Denver, Colorado. Yes, I am so excited. I get to be with my family and my friends again, be by the mountains, of course, be back in Broncos country. I am so excited to head back to the 303. I have loved my time in the DMV. It seriously has been an incredible almost 4 years out here. And there are some things that I've learned that I really wish I would have known before I moved here. Like little things that you just can't know until you've been here for a little while. So as we go around the house today, I'm trying to fill this whole box, okay, with donations. I gotta get rid of stuff, okay? I'm going into a new season of life. I gotta get rid. I can do this. But as we go through, giving things away and throwing things away, I'm gonna tell you a few of those things that I wish I would have known before I came here. And it might make your life a little bit easier. Even if you're moving here or just coming to spend some time in DC, these are things that will definitely help you out. So, let's go fill up this box and chit-chat a little bit. I think I'm gonna start in my bathroom. Yeah, I think that'll be an easy one. All right, let's see what we've got. Jeez Louise, what even is this? I've been looking for this. I've been looking for this thing. Found it. I love this water pick. Why don't I use it more? Okay, number one, it's traffic. You will come to find that traffic on the interstates and the highways, it's not any worse than what you'll experience in another big city. However, it's when you're driving, mostly in the district, that things get really rough. So here's the thing. DC, it's not a really gigantic city in it of itself and like the land that it takes up. It's a pretty small area. And it was not built, the infrastructure wasn't built to have this many cars on the road. There are so many people out there. So when, let's say, thousands of people are trying to drive from DC to Virginia at 5 o'clock, and there's like 3 or 4 bridges, all with 1, maybe 2 lanes to get onto the bridge to get you into Virginia, and thousands of people who need to get on that bridge, oh my gosh. The traffic just gets so bad. It gets crazy. So just be aware that yes, if you're driving through the district, it's going to be nutso, especially if you're driving during peak rush hour times. So just, yeah, be prepared. Traffic, it's rough. No other way around it. Now, once you're out of traffic, you need to find parking. Parking is a nightmare. In the district, it's rare that you're gonna find a parking lot anywhere you go. If you do have a parking lot, you're gonna have to pay to park there. So let's say, here's an example. Could it be personal to me? Maybe. Say you're going to brunch with your friends. It's a Saturday morning, okay? You drive into the district. You text your friends this one word, okay? One word, and they know. They know. You just say, circling. You don't say here, you say circling. Because you're circling the neighborhood until you find a parking spot. Because you can either park in a garage, but you're going to have to pay for it, and it's going to be anywhere from like $15 to $20, $30, $40. Yeah, it's expensive. Or you're going to do street parking. And sometimes street parking is free, sometimes it's not, so just make sure you read the signs. But it can take you forever to find parking. And you might get lucky and only have to walk like a block or 2, but usually you're gonna be getting your steps in. Okay. So I know what you're thinking, Michaela, why not just avoid parking altogether and just take the metro? Great question. I'm so glad you asked. Thank you. The metro is convenient if you live near a metro stop. If you don't, not so convenient. So, for me, I live in Virginia. For me to get to my closest metro stop, it's a little more than a mile walk to get there. Or I can drive, but if I drive my car there, I have to pay to park it there during the day. So for me to even just take metro to, let's just say if I want to even to take it to work, I would either have to take a bus to the metro station, drive there and pay to park, or walk over a mile, both ways, to get to the metro stop. Once I get to the metro, I have to make a transfer to get to my station. So I would take one line all the way into Union Station and then get off, get on the red line and take that all the way up to Tinleytown. And it would take me over an hour, and I would have to pay to park my car. I'd have to pay to take the bus, and then I have to pay for the metro. And I have to walk another mile to get from the metro station to the office, and I gotta do all that again at the end of the day. So for me, and a lot of people who don't live close to metro stops, it's not the most convenient mode of transportation out there. However, if you're just like beep-bopping it around the district for the day, if you're just a tourist and you just want to get around, metro is a great option. Great option to get you to and fro and avoid traffic. So I would recommend it for that, but just be aware that if you don't live near a metro station or it's not super walkable to get there, the driving situation can be a lot. I have had this perfume for so long. It's just a little sample size of Juliet Has a Gun, not a perfume, and it's my favorite smelling perfume, but it's super expensive, so I've kept this little itty bitty tiny bit left in here so I can smell it. And I thought I lost it, but I found it. Okay, so staying in the vein of kind of car things, there aren't drive-thrus. Okay, that was the weirdest thing when I moved here, of going to places that I'm so used to having a drive-thru, and there's not one. So just be aware, if you want to go grab a cup of coffee before work and you're driving in, there isn't a drive-thru. And remember we talked about parking? You gotta find somewhere to park so you can go and walk in. So just be prepared that if you are hoping to live your best drive-thru life, you're not gonna do it in the district, okay? It's just not gonna happen. I'm sorry about that. If I could do something, I would. Because I love a drive-thru. What can I get for you today? Everything. And similar to that, gas stations. Why are there no gas stations? Why? Gas stations? Oh, ow. Oh, Lord. You know I haven't painted my nails in forever when the nail polish. Can you see that? It's like fully separated. I don't know how to influencers do it. They show it. It's separated, just believe me. So, all that to say, if the gas light is on and you're near a gas station, get some gas. Get yourself some gas, okay? Because you don't know where the next gas station's gonna be, and some gas stations out here close at like 11 o'clock at night. So if you work nights and you need to get gas after work, you're out of luck, kid. You're out of luck. Oh, would you more nail polish? All right, next drawer. Okay, this next tip is for everybody, but especially for people who are just coming to visit DC. When you're around the National Mall, you're gonna see a bunch of food trucks. Lots of food trucks just lining the streets, okay? And in my opinion, if you want my advice, I would tell you to avoid those food trucks. Now, let me tell you why. Station I used to work for did a story about one of the food trucks charging a lady $88 for, I believe it was 88, somewhere around that, for 4 scoops of ice cream, 4 ice cream cones. And it was just crazy because she's going in and asking all these other food trucks, hey, what's the price of this? What's the price of that? And the price is changing. Okay, the price is changing, this, that, and the other. And the food is not, I've eaten from those before and they're not the most delicious. If you're in a pinch, sure. But there are some incredible food trucks around the district. So if you are really wanting to go and have like a food truck experience, do a little bit of research before, because there are so many really, really, really tasty restaurants that have food trucks that you can enjoy, and you're not gonna, have to worry about spending too much money or the food not being delicioso. All right, I think I did pretty good for the bathroom. There's still nothing in the donation bin, unfortunately, but we'll get there. Next area. Not that one. Okay. I will get rid of things. I will do it. Something will be in the donation box before we're done here, okay? All right, next thing I wish I would have known, it's about tourist season. So tourist season, in my experience, it starts right around cherry blossoms and it goes on until pretty much the end of summer. So it's a good chunk of time. Here's what I wish I would have known. Cherry blossoms, it's a huge deal out here. So people come from all over the world to see the cherry blossoms around the tidal basin. And I mean, they're all over DC, but especially the ones around the tidal basin. And it is a nutso crazy experience. And I mean, honestly, I could probably make a video about cherry blossoms since I've covered them so extensively for so long. But just be prepared that tourist season, it is going to slow things down. People on scooters, people on bikes, people crossing the streets when they shouldn't be. Just be aware there's going to be tons more people. But also, the children. 8th grade trips, 5th grade trips. I think my school did it in 5th grade. I didn't go, but the massive hordes of children, the herds of kids, and the oh so regretful chaperone parents, they dominate the areas, okay? When they're somewhere, you just gotta have patience during tourist season. The hardest thing that I have come to find in tourist season is the tour buses. So there are like gigantic, like those Greyhound buses that drive all around the National Mall. And the roads are very small and skinny, like we talked about before. Not a whole lot of road space. And there's these massive buses just bopping it all over the place. My least favorite part of tourist season, because they're just so scary to drive by. So just be aware of that. Another thing that I really wish I would have known before I moved out here, oh my gosh, this still has tags on it. I wish I understood more about DC culture. So if you've never been out to DC, haven't spent much time out here, you probably think that most of Washington, D.C. is just about politics and the White House and the Senate and the National Mall and the Kennedy Center, and you'd think that the main thing in Washington, D.C. is being our nation's capital. While that is a huge part of what D.C. is, Washington, D.C. also has such a rich and incredible culture of, true Washingtonians who have lived here for generations, and the culture that they've built, it's incredible. And it's something that if you come to visit DC, if you come to live in DC, you would be doing yourself a massive disservice to not learn and experience all that DC has to offer outside of the political realm, because there's so much that you can learn and experience and taste, see, hear, listen, enjoy, that if you just stay in kind of the little bubble, you will really miss out on. So if you can, and you should, get to know a little bit more about DC and the history and all the cool things that DC has to offer that you might not originally think about. All right, we got stuff in the box, so good start. I think maybe we'll go to the hall closet. Let's see what we can get over there. I'm putting you in the box, okay? I can't hold it with one hand in the other. Sorry. I'm keeping everything in there. Let's try another place. Back in the box you go. All right, next thing you need to know, if you're moving out here or even just coming out to visit, there are two things that people out here tend to be very passionate about. You can't be indifferent about either of these things. You either love them or you're just like, don't bring that up. So we talked about one. First one, cherry blossoms. People out here love the cherry blossoms. Still have tags. The second one, pandas. People out here are obsessed with the pandas. I love the pandas. They're so cute. Oh my gosh, they're adorable. The panda cam, you can watch the pandas 24/7, 365, and they're so cute. They're so cute. So just be prepared if you are coming out here. The pandas, big deal. The cherry blossoms, also a big deal. I didn't get rid of anything in this drawer. All right. So hope I have some better luck in the next one. The next thing I wish I would have known before I moved out here was how hard it can be to make and keep friends. Now let me explain. DC is a very transient city, right? People sometimes are here for just a couple years. While their certain person is in office, they'll be here for maybe 2, 4, sometimes 8 years. But people aren't necessarily here for a very long time. And so you might make really great friends, and then their person's out of office and they're gone. So that part is really tough. But also, everyone out here has pretty insane schedules, right? People work a lot, especially if you are someone who's only here for a few years. You're gonna work really, really hard for those couple of years. So it can be kind of discouraging when you make some really great friends and then they leave. I say as I'm literally the one who's about to leave. Now, it's very important that you make some friends because you might need roommates. Having roommates out here is very common. A lot of people have roommates. When I first moved out here, I was like, oh my gosh, I will never have a roommate. Like, I'm an adult. I'm gonna have a roommate. Little did I know. I had a roommate for a few years. It was the greatest thing ever. We were best friends and we lived our best life. It was awesome. It was like New Girl all the time in real life. It was awesome. But of course, they moved. I missed them so much. Come back, Romy. Just kidding, I'm leaving. Don't come back. Well, you can't come back. I just won't be here anymore. Anyway, it's super normal to have roommates, so don't feel some type of way if you have a roommate and you're like, oh my gosh, I have a roommate, I need to have a roommate. Yeah, most people need to have roommates. Look, I'm putting something in the bin. Okay, the last thing that I really, really, really wish I would have known is rent out here. It looks a little different from anywhere else that I've rented before. This is kind of frustrating, but it is what it is. Rent is listed for just the amount it costs to occupy the space. It doesn't include the multitude of fees you're gonna have to pay. So rent might be listed at $1,800. However, you need to be aware that there are so many fees. So one of the fees you might not think about, that I definitely didn't, you have to pay for parking everywhere you go. So your apartment building might charge you anywhere from $50 to a couple $100 a month to park your car. $1,800 is your rent, but you need to have a place to put your car, so now your rent is closer to like $2,000 a month. And again, this is for a studio or a faux studio. And then of course you're gonna have like the fees that you already know about, like water, trash, amenities, all that stuff. You're gonna have all those fees, which are inevitable. So be prepared for whatever the rent is advertised as to be, I'd tack another like $500 on top of that, just to account for all of the additional fees. Every place that I've lived, my rent has gone up significantly. The highest increase in my rent I had was about a 20% increase in rent from one year to the next. So be aware of that and keep that in mind when you are negotiating your salary, when you're moving out here, that it's very expensive to live out here. And if you can ask for more money, you should. I wish I would have. I wish I would have understood that that these prices are going to be a lot more, and it's different from other apartments that I've lived in, and I would have probably bargained a little bit better to get a bit more money. I'm getting rid of another thing. Yeah. All right, y'all. This is pretty good. Okay, I got rid of honestly more than I thought I would. Good job, little KK. I crushed it. All right, so there you go. Those are a few things I wish I would have known before I moved out to the DMV. If you're coming to visit, if you're coming to move here, I hope this was valuable for you. and I appreciate you watching. I'm gonna go take those things to the donation center, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!